Hello Gundam fans, this is DZ Maven once again with another Gunpla review. And still more Zeta kits to come, and today we're looking at a grunt suit. Everybody loves grunt suits, right? So, we got the Master Grade Nemo here. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here it is right here, and it's lovely shade of green and dark blue. Now this kit came out right after the Zeta Gundam 2.0 kit came out, so it's probably only natural if I talk about it right now. I picked this up, I think around the time it came out, pretty close here. Overall this kit is roughly based off the same internal frame as the Gundam Mk II 2.0, so it's very similar to it in some ways. One of the things you can really do, you can swap the weapons around with this kit from the Gundam Mk II and even the Zeta Gundam 2 an extent here on it kit. If you've been following my Twitter, you probably noticed me posting a few silly pictures about this kit on there and swapping different weapons into it and whatnot. But anyway, so let's take a look at the details here. So, This is probably one of those kits that you have to probably have the correct color correction on your camera or video in order to get the correct look on it. Looking at it on my mini screen here, it's actually looking a lot more olive green than it actually is. It's actually more of a bluish green, but hopefully you can look at my photos, you can get a much better idea of what it should actually look like here. But anyway, everything here is molded in the correct colors that it should be. There are no color stickers to fill in any gaps or anything on this kit here, so everything is molded the way it should be, which to me is awesome because that's really less work for me as a builder. You do get the little clear orange for the sensor visor here. The piece that comes behind it is gray plastic, but I went ahead and painted that chrome just to kind of highlight it a little better here, and I think it looks a lot better that way. Makes it look kind of activated that way. There's a very tiny sensor in the top here that's barely noticeable, and well, actually you do get a sticker for this back here. I do take back the sticker thing. You do get one sticker for this. This is not a clear piece back here. So there's one sticker on this thing. It's going to be on the back of the head right there. But detail wise, it's pretty much spot on. I mean, I think the balance of details overall is pretty good. I mean, it's not really heavy on the panel lines, but in situations like that, if you really want panel lines, you can always scribe in more if you want, but for what's there, I think it's pretty well balanced here. So to me, on the details and everything on this kit here, I'd be hard pressed to find any way to improve it, really, so it gets a score of 10 from me, so yay, good. Alright, so moving on to articulation here. It's pretty good overall. I won't go over all the specifics here. You do get a double joint out of the arm. What's interesting though is you get this green cover that goes over the elbow here. That kind of acts as another section of the part here. I think that kind of looks interesting that way. I like that. Arm will go around, double joint. Arm can go up about that far. One area where I think the arm is kind of limited on this kit is that it doesn't really... The clavicle joint doesn't really bend far enough forward for me. I mean, it's just kind of the way it is, but I kind of wish it had a little bit more range of articulation there. It will make it a little easier to like double grip the beam rifle. The hands are the 2.0 hands you've seen before. You can split the fingers up if you want them to move individually. They're good enough. They have a little notch for holding weapons and everything, so you've seen that before. So moving on down. The waist, it's actually pretty okay articulation in the waist here. You can go side to side, back and forth a little bit. You can rotate around a little bit, but not a whole lot, not that much. So, moving on down to skirt armor. This piece will flip up and out of the way pretty good. Don't have to worry about that. Back skirt is fixed. It's not going to move. The side piece can move up like that. And moving on down to the leg, it's basically just a polycap and socket joint. You've seen that before. The hip will adjust and move forward a bit to make it easier for kneeling poses. I found that on my kit for some reason it's kind of stuck the way it is, so I can't really move it forward. You may have to experiment with that on your own kit. leg can move up about that far, and then the knee joint will only go a little bit more than 90 degrees. So that's another point of weakness on this kit, is you can't quite bend the knee back as far as you want. But then again, you have this big thruster on the back here. It does kind of impede that a bit, so I can't hold it against it too much for that. Moving on down to the foot here. The foot is very reminiscent of the Gundam 1.5 foot, except it has much more articulation to it. This piece in the front can move up and down, and it can move back about that far, and move forward about that much here. This little piece here will move if you need to. There are little pistons inside there. I think those might be the same parts from the Gundam Mk II 2.0 in there. So, and in addition, these little things back here, these giant thrusters, they will open up like that. So you can look at the internals here. I painted up the internals a little bit on mine here. I think it looks a little spiffy like that. And it just bolts back down. Last thing here, probably the cockpit hatch. Cockpit hatch is supposed to open up pretty well on this kit from what I saw in the directions, but it doesn't really seem to open up very well for me. This is about the best I can usually do. From what I see in the directions, this is supposed to come out and then up, but I can't ever get it to really do that, because if I try to pull it out, the whole piece comes off. So that's about the best I can do with it. Your mileage may vary on that. So, in addition, these thrusters they got a little bit of range of movement on them, but not a whole lot. So, anyway, so articulation score is going to be, it's going to be a 7 for me, 7 out of 10. So, it's pretty decent for what it is. There's a few areas of limitation on it, but overall, it's pretty good here. So, let's get to it's kind of a sassy pose there. Let me straighten them out. Get on to our extras here. You don't get much for extras on this kit as a grunt suit. That's probably the one weakness on this kit. So we get our beam rifle. That's what they call it here. This is supposed to be the same sort of beam rifle that the GM2 uses here. So it's a pretty simple construction, but it's got some nice detail on it. So can't really complain about it. This little handle will swivel around, and that's it. From what I recall, when I built this a long time ago, they don't give you a sticker for the sensor in here. So I just found a leftover piece of metallic red sticker and just kind of stuck it in there, so it looks correct for me. So that's it, beam rifle. And beam rifle will clip on the side of the skirt if you want to store it. Same deal with the Gundam Mk II. So like I said, this thing shares a lot of similarities with the Gundam Mk II 2.0. You get the shield here. It's a pretty standard shield. Little thin feeling, but I mean it's good enough here. It'll collapse. Just gonna pull this back a little bit and then slide it down like that. It'll collapse. And it attaches to the arm just exactly the same way as the Gundam Mk II 2.0 does. It has a little bracket here. And the bracket just goes on the arm like so. And then you can stick the shield on the bracket. And just like that. Very easy. I do get some green beam sabers for the beam sabers. The beam sabers, they are on the back here, back skirt. On this little clip here, just kind of lift this up. And then one will fall out. You gotta be careful to catch it quick here. And then voila, you have your green beam saber. Pretty standard beam sabers here. I think they're just the same ones from the Rick DS Master Grade. The one problem I have with these beam sabers is that they don't have a notch in them for hooking onto the 2.0 hands. So you're just going to have to kind of remember that, because they are going to hang kind of loose inside the hands. So you don't want to drop them or lose these. And probably last but not least, we do have some pilot figures. I didn't bother to cut these out of the sprue tree. There's the pilot figure, and there is the standing pilot figure right there here. So they come molded in yellow. So yeah, you get figures. So the extras, yeah, like I said, are kind of sparse on this kit. There's not really a whole lot to them. Beam rifle, shield, beam sabers, that's kind of it. Pretty standard fare for a mass production grunt suit. So it gets a score of 6 out of 10 for the extras. for what you get, I mean, they're good quality. Nothing wrong with them, but it's not really too much to play around with, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. Alright, so moving on to value, which is the last thing here. This kit came out in 2006, right after the Master Grade Zeta Gundam 2.0 came out. And it retails for the amazing price of 2,800 yen, which is about $24, $25 in today's pricing in the US here. So the only thing I can probably really compare it to is the GM 2.0. That kit came out 3 years later, and that kit goes for 3,500 yen, which is actually a big step up from this. So, and again, with the GM 2.0, you only get the beam spray gun, shield, beam sabers. You do get a bazooka with it though, and you do have the Gundam 2.0 frame in that one. So it is priced a bit more for what you're getting, but as a grunt suit, is it really that different from the Nemo? Probably not a whole lot. But anyway, 2,800 yen for this. I think this is a really good value kit. If you want a GM type of grunt suit and you don't have a Nemo, I'm like, what are you doing? Get one. They're cheap and they're good. Get one. So it gets a score of 9 out of 10 for me for the value here. So I think the Nemo is a pretty good kit overall here. So that gives it a total score of 32 out of 40, which makes it a pretty good kit overall. So, I mean, if you're thinking about getting one, get one. They're not that expensive. At least they shouldn't be. I mean, price will vary depending on where you get it from, so, of course. But, anyway, it's a great little grunt kit. It's probably one of my favorite grunt suits that I have in my collection. So, you can kind of tell I'm getting a little bit excited about this kit here. So, anyway, that's going to be it for now. I hope you found this review informative about the Master Grade Nemo. Please leave a like or comment any questions or any comments below, and be sure to subscribe because more reviews are coming. Hope you all have a great day, and take care, and bye-bye.